that NASA is keeping critical evidence about 3IATLAS away from public view.
NASA has the images, but the agency is silent for now.
Do you believe that the government shutdown is a convenient cover for why this information is not being made public?
Why did NASA release Mars imagery daily, but block 3IATLAS for 43 days?
They have the data, they should share it with scientists. Using politics to just prevent the flow of information or the sharing of information among scientists.
On November 15th, 2025, NASA's HiRISE website posted 14 new images of Mars. Craters, dunes, gullies, all routine. The day before that, 12 more Mars images. The day before that, 9. In fact, if you go to the HiRISE website right now, you'll see they've been releasing Mars imagery almost every single day since the camera went operational in 2006. That's nearly 20 years of consistent public data sharing. Except for one object. On October 2nd, 2025, this same camera, the most powerful telescope ever sent to another planet, captured the highest resolution images ever taken of an interstellar object. An object called 3IATLAS. An object that's raising questions NASA doesn't seem eager to answer. Those images, still not released, over 45 days and counting. And here's what makes this chilling. NASA didn't just delay the release, they explicitly singled out 3IATLAS with a statement that appears nowhere else on their website. The singling out. If you navigate to the HiRISE observation planning page, there's a notice that wasn't there 2 months ago. It reads, any images of the interstellar comet 3IATLAS are considered NASA-wide news. Because the federal government is in shutdown, communications of NASA news have been suspended. Let me read that again. NASA-wide news. I went through the HiRISE archive 17,000 images. They've photographed avalanches on Mars. They've captured dust devils. They've documented brand new impact craters forming in real time. None of those were classified as NASA-wide news. But 3IATLAS is different. So different, apparently, that NASA decided the normal rules don't apply. Because here's the problem with their excuse. The government shutdown ended on November 11th. It's now November 16th. The images still haven't been released. And even during the shutdown, as Harvard astrophysicist Loeb pointed out, the HiRISE team continued posting Mars images daily, business as usual. But the moment it comes to 3IATLAS, silence. Loeb wrote this on November 11th, and I'm quoting directly. It is interesting to note that the HiRISE website releases many new images of Mars on a daily basis, but singles out 3IATLAS. The question isn't whether NASA will release these images, they've confirmed they will. The question is, what is it about this object that triggered a classification level, NASA-wide news, that's never been applied to any other Mars observation in 20 years? What HiRISE saw? Let's talk about what these images might show. On October 3rd, 2025, 3IATLAS passed within 29 million kilometers of Mars. For reference, that's closer than Mars ever gets to Earth. The HiRISE camera, with its 50-centimeter aperture, achieved a spatial resolution of approximately 30 kilometers per pixel. That's 3 times better than the best Hubble Space Telescope image we have, which was taken on July 21st, 2025. 3 times the resolution means 3 times the detail. It means we could potentially see the actual shape of the nucleus. We could measure whether it's elongated like Oumuamua was, or spherical. We could see if there are distinct surface features. We could analyze the structure of that bizarre anti-tail phenomenon that's been baffling scientists. Because here's what we know from the Hubble images and ground observations. 3IATLAS exhibits what's called a sunward anti-tail. That means material is being ejected toward the sun, not away from it. This isn't just unusual. According to conventional comet physics, it's wrong. Solar radiation pressure pushes dust away from the sun, always. That's why comet tails point away from the sun. Except 3IATLAS's doesn't. And the HiRISE images would show us from a side angle, not the edge-on view Hubble had, exactly what's creating that anti-tail. They would show us whether it's a continuous stream or discrete jets, whether it's symmetric or directional. These aren't trivial details. This is the kind of data that answers fundamental questions about what this object actually is. And NASA classified it as NASA-wide news and locked it behind bureaucratic protocol. The China comparison. Now, here's where this gets even stranger. China has a Mars orbiter too. It's called Tianwen-1. It also photographed 3IATLAS on October 3rd from almost exactly the same distance, 28.96 million kilometers. China's camera isn't as good as HiRISE. The aperture is smaller, 38.7 centimeters versus 50 centimeters, lower resolution, but they still captured something. And you know when China released their images? November 7th, 5 days after they were taken. 5 days. NASA is going on 45. The Chinese images are fuzzy. They show a nucleus and a surrounding coma several thousand kilometers in diameter, but details are limited. The China National Space Administration even created an animation showing 3IATLAS's trajectory across the Martian sky. They shared it with the world immediately. Meanwhile, NASA, the agency that built its reputation on open data policies, on making Hubble and Webb images publicly available within hours of processing, has stonewalled the scientific community for a month on the clearest pictures we'll ever get of an interstellar visitor. Why? Congressional pressure. It got so bad that a sitting member of Congress got involved. Representative Ana Paulina Luna from Florida sent an official letter to acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy on November 5th. She didn't mince words.
Congressional pressure. It got so bad that a sitting member of Congress got involved. Representative Ana Paulina Luna from Florida sent an official letter to acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy on November 5th. She didn't mince words. This information is of great importance to advancing our understanding of interstellar visitors and their interaction with our solar system. She then tweeted, "Just had a good conversation with NASA regarding 3IATLAS. As soon as the government reopens, they'll be releasing images/data. Unfortunately, due to bureaucratic reasons, they cannot until then." That was November 5th. The government reopens November 11th. It's now November 16th. Still nothing. When a congresswoman has to personally intervene to get NASA to follow its own open data policy, that tells you something. And when NASA still doesn't release the data even after that intervention, that tells you something else. So what is NASA seeing in these images that requires this level of classification? Let me give you the facts we already know about 3IATLAS, facts that don't require the HiRISE images. Just yesterday, November 15th, Avi Loeb published his latest analysis. He now lists 12 confirmed anomalies. 12. Let me run through them. Anomaly 1. Its retrograde trajectory aligns within 5 degrees of the ecliptic plane. The probability of this happening by chance? 0.2%. That's 1 in 500. Anomaly 2. That sunward anti-tail I mentioned. Not a geometric illusion, confirmed by multiple observatories. Anomaly 3. Its nucleus is 1 million times more massive than Oumuamua and 1,000 times more massive than 2I Borisov, yet it's moving faster than both. Anomaly 4. Its arrival timing brought it within tens of millions of kilometers of Mars, Venus, and Jupiter while remaining unobservable from Earth during perihelion. Probability? 0.005%. Anomaly 5. Its gas plume contains far more nickel than iron, similar to industrial nickel alloys. The nickel to cyanide ratio is orders of magnitude higher than any known comet. Anomaly 6. It shows non-gravitational acceleration, meaning it's being pushed by something other than gravity. Anomaly 7. Its water production rate at 3.25 AU from the Sun is impossibly high for a natural comet at that distance. Anomaly 8. It brightened by a factor 170 near perihelion, far more than models predicted. Anomaly 9. Its rotation period is 16.16 hours, but Anomaly 10. The mass loss required to explain its brightness should have fragmented it, but it didn't fragment. Anomaly 11. No clear cometary tail pointing away from the Sun post-perihelion despite massive mass loss. And the 12th anomaly just published yesterday, Anomaly 12. Its jets maintain tight collimation and directional orientation across 1 million kilometers, despite the object rotating every 16 hours. The jets don't smear. They stay pointed in specific directions. Loeb calculated that there isn't enough surface area on a natural comet nucleus to accommodate the mass flowing through these jets. 12 anomalies. Not 1, not 2, 12. And what does NASA say about all this? Acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy went on Newsmax on November 13th and said, "It walks like a comet, talks like a comet, struts like a comet. It's a comet." That's the official position. It's a comet. Case closed. Except they won't release the images that could actually settle the case. When pressed about the delay, Duffy blamed manpower shortages during the shutdown. Manpower shortages. For a 45-day delay on the highest priority interstellar object observation in history. Meanwhile, the same team released 14 Mars images just yesterday. December 19th, 3IATLAS makes its closest approach to Earth about 270 million kilometers away. That's our last good observation window before it leaves the solar system forever. Not far from now. Ground telescopes are already tracking it. Hubble will observe it again. James Webb will point its instruments at it, but none of those observations will match the resolution of what HiRISE captured on October 2nd. The HiRISE images could show us surface features. They could reveal structural composition. They could map those impossible jets with precision we'll never get again. But we can't see them. Instead, we get daily Mars crater photos and a bureaucratic wall around the most scientifically significant object to enter our solar system in recorded history. I'm not here to tell you 3IATLAS is alien technology. Loeb himself ranks it as a 4 on his 0 to 10 scale. Not definitely artificial, but definitely anomalous. But I am telling you that the data we have doesn't fit the normal comet story NASA's selling. 12 anomalies, 45 plus days of silence, a special classification that's never been used before. The scientific community wants these images. Congress wants these images. The public deserves these images. And every day NASA doesn't release them, the question gets louder. What did HiRISE see on October 2nd that's worth 45 days of silence? Keep watching this channel. The moment those images drop, we'll break down every pixel together. Because whatever NASA is hiding, or protecting, or processing, or classifying, it's about to become public knowledge. And when it does, we'll know whether the delay was caution or cover-up.